Thank you. So what distinguishes the investment opportunity in Prodigy Gold from its peers? We have a massive land holding in the Tanami strategically surrounding the multi-million ounce deposits. We've focused over the last 2 years to refine the best targets to keep 100%, and we've put together an experienced team that are aggressively exploring those projects. We're looking both for new major discoveries and growing our existing 1 million ounces of resources. Now, with such a large holding, it's well over 35,000 square kilometres that we have in the Tanami and surrounding the Tanami. That's more than we can hope to cover ourselves, and multiple commodities in there that we don't have the expertise in. So we have a number of joint ventures with notable partners, including IGO, and more recently with Newcrest, increasing the funds in the project. We also have $6.5 million cash in the bank to fund our activities for 2019. So things are heating up in the Tanami. There's been quite a bit of change in the last 12 months. IGO has been pegging ground just to the south of our projects. Our projects are in yellow. They're also a just over 10% holder of Prodigy Gold shares and have exposure through that, as well as being a joint venture partner on the Lake Mackay project. Newcrest Mining came into the Tanami this year through a $12 million earn-in joint venture with Prodigy and have been pegging their own ground in the Tanami. We had St Barbara join our register and are just around 10% holders of Prodigy Gold shares, and we welcome them into the Tanami as well. Northern Star, just on the WA side of the border, in July this year purchased the Western Tanami project and are continuing to earn into the Central Tanami project to refurbish that mill in and around where we are. And Newmont is literally pumping cash out of the awesome deposit that is Kali, continuing to extend well below 2 kilometres. They've also now just completed the pipeline, gas pipeline out to the Granites mill, and that will power the region in the future, showing their commitment. Also doing some quite extensive regional exploration. So we're now seeing most of the major Australian gold producers and explorers coming into the Tanami. So where are we focused? It's a large portfolio for scale. Alice Springs, we're about 750 kilometres out on the Tanami track. Our focus is right in the heart of the Tanami, in and around the Central Tanami resources and the Kali Centre. Off to the south, we have the partnership with IGO going into the gold, copper, base metals and battery metals at Lake Mackay. We've partnered with Newcrest to help us explore undercover and into the more remote projects at Euro. And the Thunderbird Metals team through Gladiator Resources are helping us explore through a $6.5 million earn-in into the North Arunta project. That appears to be more copper-gold deposits, not our forte, so we welcome them onto the property. Potentially more smaller scale, higher grade Tennant Creek style deposits to be discovered out there. So what's the benefits of partnering our property? In the last 12 months or so, we have managed to reduce our holding costs by about 2/3. We've increased the dollars going into the ground through joint ventures and the earnings, with an additional $24 million going into the ground. Also bringing in the technical expertise that those teams bring. So historically, the company has been spending about $2 million a year in earlier stage exploration. So you can see the difference that an additional $24 million worth of joint venture and earnings brings to a portfolio of this scale. This year, this financial year, will be well exceeding $10 million going into the ground. And that has been Prodigy Gold's strategy since coming or rebuilding the company. Focus on the best projects that we can explore and bring forward and accelerate discovery in the rest of the portfolio with the right partnerships. So what's everyone seeing in the Tanami? Multiple deposits of 2 million ounces plus at the granites, Central Tanami, Ground Rush. Kali pushing well over 14 million ounces mined and resource now and open at depth. So of the 15 deposits that are known in the Tanami, 13 of them stick out of the ground. And the primary exploration tool in the Tanami historically, because it is a remote area, has been soil sampling. So 95% of the Tanami is covered in shallow sand cover. Your soil sampling is going to be ineffective. So within 5% of the area, if you have 13 deposits discovered, there's got to at least be that number of multi-million ounce deposits to be found in the rest of the portfolio. And I think that's now finally been recognised. So how do we explore through that shallow sand cover? In our portfolio, there's only about 3 tenements that really have any serious drill holes to bedrock. So we've come through with the skills that we've learnt with companies that we've worked with before and are doing broad space air core drilling through to bedrock and collecting whole rock geochemistry samples. Rapid, reasonably cheap exploration. And what's the results that we're seeing of that approach to exploration? So our focus area is the Blue Bush project. That is just along trend from the Kali mine. In the last 18 months or so, we started with K by K spaced air core, hoping to see arsenic anomalism. We're lucky enough to get up to 0.3 grams in air core. The last 12 months has been incrementally decreasing the drill spacing. We see results in air core of up to 4 grams per tonne at end of hole, and thicknesses of up to 9 metres at 1.4 in air core drilling. So a brand new gold system of some substantial scale, structures of up to 4.5 kilometres long. So late last year, we commenced RC drilling at Blue Bush, did broad space lines just to see the scale of the system. So drilling underneath that 9 metres at 1.4. We delivered 4 metres at 6 grams in the first RC hole into this project. Exactly the right scale or the right grade and tenor of mineralisation that we should be seeing for the sort of deposits that we are looking for. So that says there are new systems to be discovered undercover, and secondly, applying broad space air core and geochemistry could be effective in discovering these within the area. So Blue Bush is a 100% project. One of our resource extension projects is just to the north of Northern Star at Supplejack. Previously, we were reporting the high grades that we've managed to recognise the chute controls up at Supplejack, a mafic sediment that's giving us materially higher grades within the 2 gram resource. Late last year, RC drilling off about 200 metres to the south, and some quite remarkable thicknesses of intersections, 89 metres at 0.3, 43 metres at 0.4, and 60 metres at half a gram, in a structure that we hadn't recognised as a mineralised structure before. So we've recognised a gold mineralised structure with significant thickness. Now it's just a matter of finding whether there is high grade and pinning down the higher grades on that structure to grow the existing resources and hopefully get a standalone project up at Supplejack. Now, if there's no other takeaway beyond the gold today to have a look at, if you went to the IGO presentation, you would see the enthusiasm that they have for the Lake Mackay project down to the south. This demonstrates the benefit of being the first mover into a province and doing systematic high quality work. So IGO has been down here for a few years, refining their skills in how to explore. That culminated last year in a 12,000 line kilometre, a massive EM survey. And for a sense of scale, this is about 230 kilometres long, so it's about half the size of the project area that they have in the Albany-Fraser belt. So previous exploration just on the one tenement that was granted produced high-grade gold, copper, lead, zinc, and add to that the grade of the cobalt in this mineralisation as well. So that was discovered in 4% of the area. We worked hard to get the rest of the portfolio granted, and January completed the airborne EM survey over the bulk of the project area. So yesterday I put out an announcement where we have whittled down to 63 high-quality targets that are the same, all indications, similar style targets to Grapple. What's most exciting is Blaze. If I remember the word that Peter Bradford said, he thinks there's a monster to be found at Blaze, because you have widespread gold and copper anomalism at surface, and there's 13 conductors under that widespread gold and copper soil anomalism. So that those 63 targets will be drill testing of those will commence in March, with just shy of 10,000 metres of RC to be completed before the end of the financial year. So this is definitely one to watch. While we have been exploring down there, we've been following up some of the other nickel and cobalt opportunities. So IGO saw a shift in their strategy from gold-nickel to nickel and gold in the battery, more into the battery metals as well. These are quite remarkable nickel and cobalt results sitting above our layered mafic intrusion at surface. So we reported the results from Grimlock in July last year, and the second one of these systems was reported in that announcement yesterday as well. So high-grade gold, copper, lead, zinc, cobalt and nickel, all from the one project, really with the first serious drilling that's been done into it. So an exciting project. Newcrest, we signed that joint venture on the 4th of July last year. We were on the ground exploring within weeks, and I think that's the way that juniors should be working these partnerships. We've completed an IP survey. First RC drilling was completed in October, November last year. First results of the RC drilling, 2 metres at 12 grams. Now that target is not effectively tested. We had to end the holes early because of water, but if we're getting 2 metres at 12 grams out in the hanging wall, it'll be exciting to get back out there and do the diamond drilling in March once it gets cool enough. So Newcrest appear pretty happy with the results that they were delivering out there for them so far. So we'll follow up at June and get further out into the reconnaissance drilling as the year goes on. So north of Runter, that copper-gold Tennant Creek style mineralisation out to the east. Gladiator came in and demonstrated large-scale IP anomalies representing a large silica shell around targets there. They've done broad-spaced RC and diamond drilling. Crota 3 is yet to come. This is the core photo from Crota 3, so those results should be out before the end of the month, hopefully, as well. So another project to watch. So with our own 100% exploration and with the joint ventures underway, we will get steady news flow coming out. IGO will be starting that big drilling program. We'll be back out doing the diamond drilling at June. I'll be aiming to close another major joint venture late Q1, early Q2 this year, so watch that space. And reconnaissance drilling at Euro. We've just received our airborne magnetic data that we collected last year, so we're interpreting and retargeting based on that data. And we'll be out doing additional air core drilling and follow up the results of last year with additional RC. Thank you.